Hi, this is Dan at Update My Dynaco. Question came in recently. It was, what is the largest gauge of wire that you can fit into the holes and the binding posts of a Stereo 120? You'll notice that that hole is a little bit small if you want to try and get a wire in like that one. Now granted, this is pretty extreme. It's a 12 gauge wire. But still, there is a way to use 12 gauge wire for your speaker, and that's if you use a set of banana jacks. So we're going to talk about installing 12 gauge wire into banana jacks. So what you can do is take one of these banana jacks, and each banana jack has a little adjuster screw, and if you use a jeweler's screwdriver, you can grab the adjustment screw. You'll back off the screw until you feel it go click, and that's when the screw has just come out of its threaded place. So we take the screwdriver, in we go, and then we back it up, and I'll do this very quietly. There was the click. Now put it in about one turn. So that makes sure that the screw is actually in place before I try and put in the wire. And put the wire in, take that screw, turn it a couple of turns, and now the 12 gauge wire is very firmly attached. It's hard to measure resistance when the wire has as much copper as the wire, the 12 gauge that we just put on to this. But let's see if we can get some kind of an idea. We'll use a fluke meter where we can zero it down to about 1/100 of an ohm, and we'll see what we get. We'll take the meter probes, touch them together, and it shows a residual resistance of 0.1 ohms. Now if we push the relative button, it takes that out of the picture, and there we are with 0.00 ohms. And if we put it back together, it's pretty stable. Now what we can do is measure this one little jumper that we've made. And we see basically it's maybe 1/100 of an ohm. And some of that is probably the connection here, but we see it's a really good quality connection. Oh, we're down to 0. The advantage of the banana plug is that we can now get a connection, and a really good connection, to the binding posts on the Stereo 120 of a really heavy gauge wire like this 12 gauge. We can take the wire and the banana plug assembly, and it goes easily and securely into the binding posts. You can purchase a set of 4 color-coded binding posts on the website for just $13.95. 2 blacks, 1 red, 1 blue. The red for the right channel, of course, the blue for the left channel, the blacks for the grounds. And that lets you keep the phasing of the speaker under control. And a great thing about all of this is, if you're like me and you're always experimenting with different speakers and different amps and different configurations, this is an easy way to make it so you can swap the speakers quickly and securely, and also support really thick gauge wires so you can see for yourself if the thick gauge wires make a big difference for your speakers. So that's all for today. We'll catch you next time. This is Dan at Update My Dynaco.